Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, with broad stripes and bright stars for the perilous fight, for the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and their rockets red clouds, moments bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, see, does that star-spangled banner wave? O'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And so we are down to the kickoff of the 57th meeting between Westmar College and Buena Vista. I just hope the rain holds off, Keith. There is a little rain in the forecast. They have diminished the chances, I guess, as this day's gone on, but we got such a nice crowd out here, and everybody's excited about another season starting. It'd be a shame to see this one get dampened before it's over.
Well, that's right, and obviously it's tougher to play football in rain, and you'd hate to see that happen to the field here, the first game of the year on it, but the air, I guess it looks kind of like now it won't rain, and boy, you couldn't pick a more perfect day to play football in. A lot of people like the sunshine, but to play in, I would say players just soon have a cloudy. You don't have the glare from the sun. You aren't looking back into it, catching passes. It can happen in this stadium and kind of sunset around 4 or 5 o'clock if you're looking back to the west, and just a perfect day to play football.
The humidity is probably going to be a little bit of a factor in this one. We're going to find out who's in shape. It's a little sticky out here like it was last night for the high school games.
That's right. It might not be quite as humid, and we talked about that. Whether you're used to it or not, the humidity still kind of saps you. You sweat a lot, and it just makes you drain faster, and by fourth quarter, it can have its toll. And they didn't practice in a lot of that this year. In the preseason practice, a lot of the two-a-days were in that cool, crisp weather we had there a week or two ago, and they're not quite used to humidity. But I think the temperature is down enough today that shouldn't be much of a factor.
The Beavers getting set to come onto the field down to the left end zone, the east end zone. Let's take a look at the starting lineups because the Eagles are obviously going to make a few changes on the defensive side of the football. They needed to because of graduation losses. The ends will be Mike Rogers and Mark McLeod. McLeod was a linebacker, I guess, when we talked with you last in November up in Madison in the snow and the wind and all that. Wayne Udick and Dan Krotz will get the start at the tackles. Dan Oswald to the nose guard. Kurt Westhoff and Robert Johnson, a couple of the linebackers, and they've got All-American prospectus. Joey Holmberg will start at a corner along with Scott Seeloff. Marcus Hancher and Frenchie Holmberg won the safety spots in preseason drills. And the secondary, if you want to talk green, Coach Hirschberger referred to that. Westmar's secondary is a green one. That'll be the tested area. Westmar's offense will start with Todd Skolton and Rob White at the wideouts. They were, of course, alternating at one of the spots last year, bringing the plays in. The tight end will be Tim Shipley. The tackles, Jeff Waldheisen and Wayne Spearing. John Barton and Byron Bowling will start at the guards. Tim Pauley, normally a starter at that left guard spot, but he's been lame with a high ankle sprain. Probably won't play much today, although he is suited. More likely he'll be ready to go down to Midland next Saturday night. Craig Larson will start at center. Kelly McClintock back for his last go-around here since transferring in last season to Westmar. McClintock's a 185-pound senior out of Schuyler. Running backs will be Charles Hill and Kelvin Pierce. And the Eagles come onto the field. We're just moments away from getting this one started for another year. Tuned in to KLEM at Lamar's, Iowa this afternoon. And might just mention here, we've got a moment that this will be our only live broadcast of Westmar football this season. From here on, we're going to be taping these for a replay on Sunday night on cable channel 20, our local cable station. We will, of course, be carrying Iowa State football on KLEM through the rest of the football season. Cyclones not starting until next week, so got to make plans to enjoy Westmar football on Sunday nights. And for for those of you that want to follow the action on Saturday, check in with us on the scores. We'll try to get scores back to the studios, and you can kind of keep track of Westmar on Saturday afternoon. But if you'd like to save all of the suspense and that for seeing the entire game and following the action from the kickoff to the last second ticking off of the fourth quarter, Sunday night will be your night. 8 o'clock the starting time on Cable Channel 20. Westmar is going to be kicking off, going from west to east here to open the afternoon. They're in home blue with the silver headgear, silver pants, BV out in the white colors, gold pants, gold headgear, the navy blue numbers. They'll be receiving down to the east end zone. Already going to see one of our freshman people in action here, Bronny. McPartland from Sheldon will be kicking off. His brother Chris, of course, played here last year as a defensive starter.
Well, and I hope he's a good one. It'd be nice to have a good kicker for 4 years. It's tough to get a good kicker in small college, and that's kind of one of his specialties, so we'll see how he does.
Okay, McPartland going to tee it up and kick it off, and for the left hash mark, sends it end over end. Going to be gathered in by Scott Bailey, their standout freshman from Pocahontas, and whoa, as he's sandwiched at about the 25-yard line. Coming up on the special team, Joe Holmberg up there to make the first hit, along with his brother Frenchie. Well, we got the Holmberg boys right into the action early.
That's right. You can see Frenchie, we talked about him a lot. He's out there kind of a different position this year, but he put a lick on him that time and really broke the freshman into college football.
Beavers have it first and 10 to their own 26-yard line. Again, their quarterback is Dave Widener. Takes over for the Claver kid from last year. First play of the ball game, going to be a pass. Westhoff on a blitz, trips him up and takes him down at about the 24-yard line. Going to be a loss of a yard. They just came straight red dog there.
That's right. Westhoff was on the roll and just shot right through, got open, and just reached out and got a hand and brought him down.
Beavers already getting some reinforcements into the ball game. Of course, Kirk Harrington again on the Buena Vista roster. He's a Lamar's product, and we'll look for his number periodically in the game, number 8. He's listed as a quarterback. His days of as a quarterback at BV are still in the future. He's playing wideout these days. As in Jamie Brawl out here wide to the right side. Back to pass, thrown back over the middle. Wide open is going to be Mark Renning, the tight end. Makes the catch at the 30, 35, and out of bounds near the 40-yard line. It'll be close to a Beaver first down. Should be across those first down sticks.
Tough pass there. He had good pressure on him. Was just a second away from getting sacked, but looked back and threw clear and back and behind him, which is tougher coverage to be back there and hit the big tight end and broke a tackle to get a first down.
Rich Kilby checks into the ball game. He's out of Hawaii. And it's going to be a first down for the Beavers out to the 38-yard line. Looks like Craig Mayer and Kilby are going to be alternating with the plays. Kilby probably their top pass receiver. Renning kind of ran a delay off the tight end spot. Came across the field and he was wide open. Eagles might have been offside, and there's the flag. Gives straight up the middle, and it's going to be little or no gain on the play. I think that was probably prearranged to run that right up the pike, but that was more or less a free play for the Beavers.
That's right. The man was offside, and 5-yard penalty for him, and I'm sure BV will take it and go 1st and 5.
Pulls off till this one's over. Beavers going to run a lot of people in and out of those wideout spots from the eye. They're going to give it to Faffel. It's Dave Faffel. The Eagles really swarm to the football, and down he goes. Westhoff made the first contact. Robert Johnson was there to put the finishing touches. A couple of linebackers we're going to hear a lot of this year if they stay healthy.
Boy, and they're fun. I was watching Robert Johnson on that play, and a lineman must have been a guard, came out and blocked him, and he just threw him off just like it was a fly on his shoulder and made the play behind the line of scrimmage, and that's tough to do.
Kurt Westhoff playing at 210 pounds, heaviest he's been in college. Still not linebacker size, but they did finally get him up there a little bit through a lot of weightlifting for the I formation. Option play. Faffel and Widener going wide left, and it's Widener slipping and falling. Coming up to make sure he didn't get much further than that for the Eagles. Westhoff kind of tripped him up. And a number 81, who I don't see on our roster even. We've got a number change, apparently, from what we have for Westmar. So possibly that's Mark McLeod. He's supposed to be, no? I see McLeod at 92, so I'm not sure who 81 is. We'll have to double check on that. Got him in at the nose guard spot, it looks like. That's where Dan Oswald normally plays. I think it is Oswald. He went out for the flip of the coin. There's the quarterback being sacked by Westhoff. Another red dog, and Widener went back to throw. Sacked back at about the 32-yard line. And that's going to bring on the punt team again, the blitz, and nobody picked it up.
Well, he did get hit. The running back did came up and gave him a pop, but again, you talk about the weight you need, the size, and basically ran right on through the block and got the sack. The linebackers look tough this series.
So back to do the punting is going to be Mike Wilson, a freshman out of Emmitsburg. 12-12 to play, and the Beavers are going to surrender the football. First quarter of action, no score. Eagles about set to run their first offense of the year. Back to receive it, going to be Safford. Takes it at about the 25, 30, and he's going to be nailed at about the 33-yard line. Down to make the tackle for the Beavers, number 41, Todd Lang.
There's one place to be experienced, it's offense, and let's hope they can get some points on the board.
Rob White going to split wide left. They've got Skolton out here flanked kind of in a wide slot in a split backfield. McClintock going to give to Charles Hill first. Hill right up the gut, and he's going to be swarmed under by a mass of white shirts at about the 35-yard line. Only going to get about a yard of the play, and there to make the hit for the Beavers going to be Todd Essing, a sophomore out of Manson, but there was a lot of help immediately thereafter. You like your defense swarming to the ball always, don't you?
Well, that's right, and that's a characteristic of BV defense. They're always that way, and you always got the linebackers and the backs coming strong, and you don't want to give that running back that extra yard they'll twist off of, and that's what they did there. They really stopped them.
11.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. McClintock up, second down and 9 from the Westmar 35-yard line. Play action fake, option fake, fumble. Beavers got it. Ball was jarred loose by Brian Sharp, a senior out of Numa, Iowa. And I believe pounced on then by Jeff Post from the free safety spot. Beavers reacted well to the option, and that was just one of those mishaps that can happen to you sometime.
That's right. A defender got in and tied the quarterback up and just couldn't quite keep the handle on him. Boy, that's a kind of break you don't want to give a team.
Beavers take over at the Westmar 34. Those breaks we talked about in the pregame show, and one's happened already for the Beavers. Widener back trying to capitalize. Boy, he's got all day to throw. Now he's going to scramble down the right sideline. He's short of the 30 and out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. Boy, it was a protection super there.
Well, that's right, and Westmar obviously didn't have any kind of a stunt on, and yeah, they kept one back in, so it was 6 guys blocking 3 or 4 there, and they definitely gave him a lot of time, but he didn't find anyone open.
Widener's a junior out of Pocahontas. He had to fight off the challenge of a junior from Carroll, Kevin Lux, to win the quarterback job. Might see Lux before the day's over also. 11:07 left to go. Second down and about 8 to go over the Beavers from the Westmar 32 as Buena Vista tries to capitalize on an early break. Quick pitch. Dave Faffel, flag down on the play. Faffel going wide. Mike Rogers runs him down. Going to be a little bit of a loss on that play, but we have a flag back across field near the line of scrimmage. Any guesses about what this may be?
Boy, I didn't see anything that caught my eye. I guess I was watching the backfield action, but that's a holding on Buena Vista.
That'll take him out of field goal range even. Westmar coach is already signaling, I believe. Dates back to 1902, I think, was the first action in this series. BV has won twice as many as Westmar has in this series, though. Westmar trying to snap a 16-game losing streak. Play action, Widener back, got some time, throws for the sidelines, hits Kilby out here at about the 27-yard line. Joe Holmberg going to take him out of bounds, and it's another, well, not quite a first down, but it'll be close. It was second, they needed 20, now 19, and they're going to pick up all but about 4 of those yards that they needed back. So gain of about 15 on the pass play. Nothing too fancy about it, just kind of a simple little down and out, Brownie.
Well, they're not so easy, though. That was a long, deep down and out, and those are the kind that can get picked off if they're not thrown properly. And boy, Widener had it on the money there and just about got their first down.
The coverage wasn't that bad. They had defenders in the area, but Widener just threw it on the mark. Third down and about 3 yards to go. Redding in motion. Faffel up the middle, and he's got the first down inside the 25 to about the 22-yard line. That's the thing I think has made Buena Vista's offense so tough to stop through the years. They throw such a variety of stuff at you. They really give you a lot of different looks.
Well, and they do it well. You know, you think they're got a new quarterback here, but yet the guy's a junior and comes out and throws the ball well right to begin with. And they usually have every aspect of their offense down pretty well and can use it and go to it if they need it.
Execution, I think, was the word that Coach Maisel used earlier this morning on our Chalk Talk show. 1st and 10, and the Beavers still threatening from the big break early in this ball game. Renning again in motion to the right side. Going to go to Leatherman up the middle. He goes airborne, and he's down on the 20. Stacked up inside by the Westmar front line. You got Udick inside. Robert Johnson was there, and down on the very bottom of the pile looks like Kratzo getting up. So our 2 defensive tackles, and then, of course, the standout linebacker Robert Johnson, or better known as JR, to his football teammates, in there to make the hit. got good conversion inside. Everybody converged to the carrier up the middle.
That's right. They really had the play just stuffed up cold right from the start, and BV did a good job getting a couple yards out of it.
Second down and 8 to go from the Westmar 20 with 9:41 to go in the opening quarter of action. No score, but the Beavers are threatening. Back to pass. Widener now scrambling. Gets away from one man, sandwiched eventually inside the 20 at about the 17. Very close to a late hit there. Frenchie was late in arriving. Westhoff and Johnson there to make the tackles for the linebacker spots.
Yeah, you don't want a personal foul right down here and this close to the goal line, and it was kind of one of those anxious moments, and they want, especially when the quarterback's running, guys like to get them. Got to be careful.
Brad Krotz, who's been playing hurt here lately in practice, is going to come out, and it looks like he's dinged himself again. Chad Shook, a freshman out of Denison, going to check into the ballgame, 225-pounder. Out of all of the freshman kids, if you exclude Steve Utesh, the 28-year-old freshman, he's probably going to make the first impact from the freshman class. Inside the 9-minute mark, running in motion to the left from a tight end spot. There's Faffel. Off tackle, left and down he goes. Robert Johnson shooting the gap and filling a hole, and he drops him right at the line of scrimmage. He may got a yard or two, but not much more. And McLeod was there to kind of finish up the play. Fourth down at about 4 to go for a Beaver first down, and they're thinking field goal. They want the points early.
That's right. They want to get 3 and get ahead in this game and get something out of this break that they got on the fumble.
Well, they've got a pretty good kicker. Jeff Post is going to be holding, and John Weesey will be doing the place kicking. It's going to be spotted on the 24, 34-yard try. It's up. It's more than long enough if it's accurate. Post says it is. The holder and the referees verify it. 3-0 Westmar trails in the first quarter with 8:15 to go, back in 30 seconds.
3-0
Local Lennox dealer installs and services.
We see their first kickoff of the 1987 season. Weezy's got it teed up on that 35, and BV will take the defensive side of the football. Kickoff's going to be short, end over end. Calvin Pierce going to field it on the 15, 20, 25, spun around, down at about the 30-yard line, not quite to the 30, looks like the 29, as they got him hemmed in on the sidelines. They kicked it to Pierce. It did appear they had a right sideline return set up, so at least they kicked it to the side that Westmar planned on.
Yeah, and I suppose maybe that's why they had it set up over there, but I guess they tried, but it didn't quite work.
Westmar brings on that offensive unit, again led by the veteran Kelly McClintock. Unlike McClintock to turn the ball over, he, of course, has already impressed fans here with 1 year of football at Westmar, that he has that knack for getting the team into the end zone. Going to go from the old wishbone set with Shipley now in the backfield from a tight end spot into the backfield playing the up back. Pearson Hill, there's Hill, going to carry across the 30, 35, 40, breaks into the secondary, 45, 50. Foot race on now to the 40, 35, 30, cuts back to the 20, to the 15, down to about the 10-yard line. First and 10 Westmar. That was going to cover 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, about 60 yards on that gallop for Charles Hill.
Boy, that was a beautiful play, and it broke the line of scrimmage nice, and you see those quick, explosive steps that he takes to get through the line of scrimmage, and made a nice move here to wait for his blockers to the end, but the pursuit just caught up with him. But boy, that's the big kind of plays that a good offense can do. That was just a perfectly executed play.
Got the fans to their feet, and they enjoyed that one. Charles Hill's going to have a big year, I feel. He came really mentally prepared, physically prepared for this campaign.
That's right. He's the #1 back now, and he knows it, and he's going to try and live up to it.
Going to go again out of that wishbone set. Boy, you can't go against what has helped you. There's Pierce to the outside of the 10 to the 5, and out of bounds at about the 2 or 3 yard line. That wishbone set got him a big gainer, so they're going to stick with it. Westmar's got it inside the 5-yard line now, and they're knocking on the door, threatening to take a lead in this ball game. We haven't even not only won for the last 16 years, but we haven't led many times over that 16-year period either.
Well, I know when I played, we never did. We just watched the score build up on their side, but they're sure knocking on the door here. They had a tough little situation there, 1st and 10, or within a few inches of it, but Kelvin showed his speed, just took it outside and got a nice 7-yard pickup for him. Now they're right down there where they like to be.
Split the backs, and they split receivers to both sides. Back in that, well, they are back in the wishbone set again. Going to go to Hill up the middle. Hill going to carry toward the end zone. Didn't quite get there, apparently, but he's got to be inside the 1-yard line. Just follow their strength. Martin and Woldeisen over there on the right side. You go with the best people down here.
That's right, and it's interesting to see him go out of the wishbone here, too. They're not running the option out of it. They're just using kind of like a 3-deep backfield set, but boy, sure working for them. They're going to probably stick it right at the middle again here.
Looks like from our monitor here, they're just inside that 1 yard line, about a football's length away from the end zone. BV in their goal line defense. Westmar trying to jump in front. Shipley going to line up in the backfield again in the fullback spot. And we got a timeout. Kelly McClellan, the guy I guess we better give credit to, Dwayne Hobart, 6'1" junior out of Lorville, Iowa. And he's in there leading the blocking again. We got Pierce to the right and Hill on the left-hand side of that wishbone formation. Everybody's in tight. There's Kelvin Pierce. He'll go in standing up. Touchdown, Westmar. And the Eagles jump in front 6-3. So they cashed in on a 60-yard gallop by Charles Hill. That was easily the big play of that drive.
Oh, that's right. That was the clincher, of course, got him down there. But I think coaches, even though they know they'll throw the ball, they love to see it go all the way on the ground and really put it in with confidence. They had the ball first and goal in the 10, which can be tough. But just ran the ball 3 plays and got it in. That coach has to really feel good about it.
Well, that's the offense I guess we're expecting to see this year. Coach Mazel's been bold enough to say he doesn't think there's a defense around that's going to be able to stop these guys for 4 quarters. They're going to get some points on most times out. Mike Morey going to kick for the PAT out of Joey Holmberg's hold. It's good. It's 7-3. Westmar with 6:54 to go in the opening quarter. Back in 30 seconds. The defense more than the offense getting points on either.
Oh, that's right. They love it. Now they're ahead and they want to keep it and hold it right where it is.
This is the day that brings that unity, the offense and the defense together, because up until now they've kind of been 2 platoons. They play against each other. The tempers flare against each other in practice, but today they all draw together as a unit. But Parkland's kickoff is going to sail to about the 15. Fumble, still loose. Westmar scrambling after it. I think the Eagles may have it. Off top of the pigskin. Westmar's recovered a fumble on the kickoff, and boy, this really takes the starch out of you.
Well, I guess it evened out the fumble they lost earlier, and then look and see what Westmar's offense will do with this. But again, there's your tri-captain, the leader of this team, the linebacker on top of the football. And those guys just seem to have a nose for the ball and get in there.
Slaps on the shoulder pads for Kurt Westhoff as it comes to the sideline. Of course, one of our own, Lamar's native, and the Eagles bring that offense right back on. That drive for them for the touchdown, incidentally, was a 4-play drive, and it covered. It took over the 29, making a 71-yard drive for them. And Kelly McClennick's got him now on the Buena Vista 24-yard line. Going to give to Pierce. Pierce off tackle to the left side, and he'll dive into about the 20-yard line. Boy, does he have acceleration.
Boy, that's right. I'm just sitting there waiting for him to get in the open field because he really looks like a shot diving up in there. And there, the big tackle, I think, just got a hand on his ankle. Otherwise, that could have been a few more yards.
Now coming in with a play for Kelly McClennick is going to be Blaine Bell. Bell is a sophomore wideout out of Lake City. This is basically his first tour of duty. He played with the JV last year, but he is impressed in preseason drills. Split receivers to both sides. Skolton out to the right side. There's the give up the middle to Charles Pierce on the pitch out. Pierce going to carry inside the 10 to about the 9-yard line. Fake to Hill up the middle and then gave on the option. Pitch out to Calvin Pierce, and that's the element of speed that Westmar maybe has never had to this magnitude.
Well, that's right, and to have a combination with a great inside runner that Hill is, boy, it's like, where do you stop him? You got the speedster outside and the tough man inside. And boy, they can go anywhere they want now and root effectively.
It's going to be a lot of, I guess, heads being put together over there on the BV sideline because Westmar's given them enough of a headache here in the opening quarter to know that they've got some trouble stopping the speed outside and the power inside. 5:51 left to go in this first quarter. Westmar trying to tack on another touchdown. McClennick rolling right. Now he's keeping. Breaks a tackle. He's to the 5. Tight ropes the sideline. Did he get in? Apparently not. Out of bounds. Short of that goal line. And it looks like the nose of the football almost touching that goal line stripe. McClennick with some good ad-libbing down the sidelines. He got a lot more out of that than I thought he would.
Boy, that's right. We were a long ways from it, but he had to make a good move out on the 10. I thought, well, at least he's going to salvage kind of a break even here and get to the line of scrimmage, but all of a sudden he was diving for the end zone. Great athletic ability.
Shipley going to be in there now to tight end spot. And on the other side, we've got Neil Hall, so they're going to the double tight end look, and the wishbone set again. There's Charles Hill trying to get outside. He'll dive short of the goal line. He was tripped up in the backfield. Nice defensive tackle by Mike Duval, a senior out of Spirit Lake. And it's going to bring up a second down and third down and goal from about the 1 yard line. They may even lost about a half a yard there.
Yeah, at least they sure didn't gain anything. I thought maybe he had an opening, but just couldn't quite get over that man. Had he would have been in free.
Well, let's see if the Westmar Eagles have the power to drive it right up the gut here and get it into the end zone. We got Rob White going wide left. Hobart, Hill, and Pierce lining up in the wishbone set behind McClintock. Play action fake. McClintock going out to the over the middle. Instead, touchdown. Catch going to be made by Charles Hill. Came out of the backfield. He faked to him on the dive, and Hill just kind of slipped out there untouched. And McClintock was looking to to Rob White in the left corner, and came right back to Hill. Nice play.
Well, that's right, and that's where that good running game sets a play up like that. His BV was coming hard and thinking run on the play, and just had Hill wide open, standing in the end zone.
Charles Hill with his first TD pass catch, I believe, as a Westmar Eagle. Hill said he wanted to make up for last year's disappointing game at Storm Lake. He didn't feel like he had a very good one. So far, I'd say he's done that. Morey trying to add the 14th point to the board, and Westmar has got her through. Morey 2 for 2 in the PATs. Westmar leads at 14-3, 4:53 left to go. Looking like the competent team right now that BV always shows us they are.
Oh, no question, and you can just feel it up here in the stands. It's kind of like the line's coming up there saying, hey, fellas, just try and stop us. We're going to come at you, and we're just going to go down and score, and that's what they've been doing. And that's right, that could have really been a downer when they lost that fumble, but the defense did a good job, and then the offense came in and put points right on the board, and that's behind them now.
McPartland going to kick off, going to come end over end, and be grabbed at the 15-yard line, 20, 25, still on his feet, down at about the 26-yard line. Kickoff returned by Scott Bailey, that freshman out of Pocahontas. Boy, he was the MVP in the Shrine game in late summer. He, of course, led Pocahontas to a second-place finish in the state playoffs last year. I believe that'd be Class 2A that Pocahontas plays in. He was all set to go to South Dakota State, changed his mind. Jim Hirschberger talked him into a Buena Vista football position, and he's vying for that starting spot behind Dave Faffel. Faffel and Leatherman to the backfield, fumble the center snap. Widener going to ad-lib with it. Widener out across the 25, out to the 30, across the 35 to about the 36, 37-yard line. Turned a broken play into a 12-yard game. There's the all-around athletic ability I think we see so often out of these Buena Vista kids.
Well, that's right. He showed his ability to run there, and he's strong. He's a big kid, and kind of lumbered up the sideline there. You hate to see a broken play get so many yards, but that's what happened there. He did a good job with it.
Actually, the play was set to go to the right, and I think, well, the linemen read the blocks and everything. I think everybody started leaning or slanting left side, or it would be to Westmar's left side, and that opened the door over on Westmar's right side then. Widener, play action fake, rolling out. Now he's in trouble. He'll get sacked. Udick is there. In the very bottom, it's McLeod, the top sacker on last year's ball club, from 3 different positions, tackle, end, and linebacker, before it was eventually over. Westmar got good heat, and Widener never had a chance to even look his receivers over.
That's right. McLeod really did a good job there. Had 2 guys on him basically, and really drove him back. And finally, when he had his eyes on the quarterback, just threw him off and came in and helped in on the sack.
Second down at about 16 to go. Well, we'll say second down at about 15 to go for Buena Vista first down. 14-3 Westmar with 3:50 left to play in the first quarter. Widener going to send the 2 receivers to opposite sides, split wide left and right, and Leatherman in motion. Beavers moved early in that line of scrimmage. Faffel on the draw. They're going to blow it dead as Faffel breaks clear, but it's all coming back to the line of scrimmage, and there'll be 5 more tacked on, and the Beavers are looking at second down and 20 now.
He did have to fill a lot of positions, especially in the offense, and normally it's 3 or 4 or 5 he'll have to fill, but he fills them with some experienced players that have been around for a few years, and that's the difference.
Widener back to pass, straight drop back, heavy rush again, and he's scrambling out of the pocket, looking for help. Now he's on the move. Throws it out of desperation to the sidelines, and a good job by Widener there, just salvaging the play.
Well, that's right. He's kept it at no loss there, and I thought he might have run on up the sideline, but hats off to this Westmar secondary. We talked about how they're supposed to be a little green, and boy, they had good coverage there. They were having a hard time, Widener is, finding his receivers.
And, of course, a little pass rush helps that secondary out. I'm sure that was the emphasis in the locker room. Come on, guys, we got to get some heat on the quarterback, help these young secondary people out.
And they've done that. They've used a few blitzes now and then, and he really is. He's getting a little gun shy back there, and he's ready to get on his horse and run.
Not finding the pocket too comfortable. 3rd down and 20 to go. Obvious passing down, back to pass. They flood to the right side with receivers. Going to Kilby, and it's incomplete. Little hook pattern. It was near the original first down. Would have been far short of a first down. And there covering up was Robert. He was down at a school in North Carolina before deciding to come to Westmar College. So 4th and 20. Westmar should get this one in pretty decent field position around midfield. Punt out of there by Mike Wilson, shanked off to the right side of the foot, and a roll toward the Westmar sidelines. And Westmar probably unadvisably tried to pick that up. Safford trying to scoop it up on the sidelines, and Corey Eisenbrand meets him quickly as he comes to the sidelines, and I guess we won't see that again.
That's right, and he had a little smile on his face when he's telling him, but I'm sure he knew it too, that that you can't a foot get in there, and that's what football isn't round. It doesn't always roll right, and it could very well happen you fumble it out of your hands as you reach for it.
Westmar going to take over in their own 45-yard line. 1st and 10 with 2:59 left to go first quarter. 14-3 Westmar. Scored on their last 2 possessions, driving one 71 yards in 4 plays, and then recovering the ensuing kickoff and taking just 5 plays, I should say, to pop it into the end zone on that second try. Quick pitch, Charles Hill. He's to the 45, to the 50, and driven out of bounds in Buena Vista real estate. You see where they mark it, right into the Westmar sidelines. Tackle going to be made for the Beavers by Pat Brown. Pat out of the nose guard spot, a sophomore out of Des Moines. Going to mark it on the 48, so it's going to be a 2nd down at about 2 to go, a long 2, almost 3. Give him a gain of 8 yards on the play, 2:53 to go, as we're closing in on the end of the first 15-minute period of this 87 season. What we've seen so far is going to be a fun year. Eagles on the road next Saturday night down to Fremont to play Midland. Out of the wishbone set again. Going to Kelvin Pierce. Kelvin going to carry to the left side, and he'll get virtually nothing. It's going to be close to a first down. We'll see where they mark it. It's either going to be 3rd down, very short yardage, so they'll have got the first down. So far, all we've seen of Kelvin Pierce is to the left. He must be more comfortable running that way.
Yeah, I don't know whether that's why they're doing that. Maybe it's coincidence. I guess I don't know that. I guess some players like to run one way or the other, but it could well be. He did a good job there. Good line play. Got him. It looked like it wasn't much of a gainer, but they did get a couple yards out of it.
3rd down and a good 1 yard to go for the first down. Big play on this drive to keep it alive. So I would think Westmar wouldn't gamble at this stage, although leading 14-3, it'd be a place that you might think about it. A little confidence builder. Split receiver to the left side is Skolton. Going to get a Charles Hill. Got the first down. 45, 40. Blasts over that safety back, and he's inside the 40 to about the 37-yard line. Charles loves the competition and the hitting, and Jeff Post came up there to take him head-to-head, and Charles obliged him.
That's right, and Charles is built low to the ground, and, well, he really let him have it butt. They both got up and pat each other in the back, and I'm sure they'll probably get at it again. But little Charles is strong.
Hill has been very impressive in preseason drills. He has really been a tackle breaker, a real slashing runner, and got those big, thick thighs that make him tough to bring down.
Yeah, he's solid, and there's much leg there to grab a hold of, and those little guys are tough to find back there.
2:04 to go in the first quarter. McClintock back to pass. Got Rob White out there. Caught the ball inside the 5. What a catch! John Peltzer had the perfect coverage on, but he still just went up and out body for the football. Brilliant catch by White out of Kingsley.
Boy, that's right. That was just a big league catch there, and the ball was maybe a little underthrown. It was a long pass, but the coverage caught up with it, and boy, he went up and took the ball.
And it's 1st and goal to go for Westmar down to the 4-yard line. Boy, this could be 3 straight shots into the end zone from that offense. 3 of the first 4 possessions inside the last minute 50 here in the first quarter. Out of the wishbone set, there's Kelvin Pierce to the left side again. Kelvin breaks a tackle into the end zone. Touchdown! Pierce with his first touchdown of his college career, and he's a happy young man coming to the sidelines. He helped the JV fashion a 5-0 record. He takes over for Steve Moran. He's certainly got a little more speed. Enough from us, we can't really pick the number up, but he did get up and come off under his own power. Mike Morey trying to add the point after. Joey Holmberg will be holding. Kick is up, looks pretty good from our angle, straight through there, and it's 21-3 Westmar. Maury is perfect, the offense nearly perfect.
The way this Westmar offense is running, I'd like to see him on a dry track and just watch him keep going here today.
Portland going to kick off for the 4th time here in this first quarter. Kickoff is going to go to the 5-yard line, to the 10, to the 15, cross the 20, and down at about the 25-yard line. The return made by Craig Mayer. Tackle going to be made by Oswald, and on the specialty team, Trent Quick, sophomore out of Trainer, Iowa. Well, they've had some good athletes come out of Trainer.
That's right. Coach Hirschberger talks about he doesn't have any experience, but he's got some good recruits there, and then he'll have good teams down the road. We got to comment on the kicking here. We talked about the freshman kicker they kind of brought in, and basically his specialty, and McPartland's done a beautiful job. Just that kick, I think he fielded that inside the 5, and that's a long kick for college football, small college, and from a freshman.
And something else we'll touch on here in a moment while you're on the subject of kicking. Widener's got the football team out over the football from their own 24-yard line. They're going to give up the middle to Faffel, and Faffel is going to go down at about the 26-yard line. Trying to see who's up off the very bottom of the pile, and I still can't see the number. Oswald, I believe, was down underneath there. You know, Coach Maisel jokingly said, we'll solve our punting problems by not ever punting. So far, they haven't had to.
That's right. That's one real weak link. I guess they have. They just haven't had a tough time finding a punter. But the way the offense is going, I suppose they could just go on 4th down, or they haven't even had to worry about it. So that's one problem they haven't had to work through.
4 drives, 3 touchdowns. The fumble set up 3 points for BV on their first possession. Widener back, a lot of time. Fires over the middle. It's going to be caught by Jamie Brawl for about a 10-yard reception up near the 35-yard line. Again, Westmar is going to have trouble in the secondary. Anybody's secondary is going to have trouble if you give them that kind of time.
Well, that's right. And that was a kind of a rolling scramble, and he was kind of on the run. And the receiver did a good job. He just kind of found an opening and got his hand up, and the Widener saw him and hit him.
Got to be 3rd down and inches short yet of a first down. They got to get just over that 35-yard line, and the ball's just nosed up to it. 13 seconds left in the first quarter. They may have time enough to get another snap off here before we head to the second period. Westmar leading at 21-3. 3 straight possessions have hit the end zone. Widener back to pass, little dump pass over the middle of Rennick, incomplete. Cancer almost there to make the interception. Took 1 hop up to him, and that'll do it for the first quarter. Westmar. Beavers going to open the second quarter with a punt. It's 4th down, and they have inches to go, but they're at their own 34, and with Westmar already on front, 21-3, playing a roused football, you don't want to gamble at this stage. Wilson going to bang it out of there, going to sailing kick. Holmberg takes it at the 30, 35, 40. Joey going to be short of the 40-yard line, down at about the 38. It's kind of a sailing kick, and Joe went back and very reliably grabbed it and ran it upfield. On the Eagle 38-yard line, McClintock's out, trying to make it 4 straight drives into the end zone. From the wishbone set, they've had so much success with this that they're sticking in it. Back to pass, nope, check it. It's a quarterback rollout. 40, 45, out of bounds at about the 49-yard line, close to a first down. That just caught everybody off guard. All of the motion went to the left, and McClintock just kept rolling right into the Westmar right sideline to the short side of the field, and had 1 or 2 lead blockers and got downfield for a first down.
That's right. It obviously was a design rollout. He made a fake handoff up the middle, and boy, tucked the ball under his arm and got behind his big man there and ran on around the corner.
Nosed up to the 50-yard line, 1st and 10 for Westmar there. Out of the wishbone, a split receiver to the left side, quick pitch out here to Pierce. Pierce to the 50, 45, 40, flag goes down. Got to be a blocking violation downfield. And threw it in the vicinity of center Craig Larson, so he must have done something illegal in trying to throw his downfield block.
Well, I would guess maybe a clip. A lot of times the linemen come from the inside and heading out there like that, and they get a guy behind. And that's what it's going to be.
Clip indeed. What is it, 4 yards, I believe, on the either side of the line of scrimmage. Got a clip about almost 16 yards to go for the first down. Skies to the west kind of looking rather ominous. May not be done with the rain here this afternoon after all. Overhead, they've kind of brightened a little bit. There's a little rumble, too, from some thunder. Eagles go tight end to the left side. That's Shipley. It's out of the wishbone. There's Hill to the weak side. 45, 50. Taken into the Westmar sideline. Short of the 45-yard line to about the 47. Coming up to make the hit is going to be that standout free safety, Jeff Post. Post led the team in interceptions last year when he picked off 5. He's an excellent safety man. It's the BV secondary that's their strength defensively, a unit that returned 6 people, I believe, from last year.
That's right, and that's one of those real specialty skill positions, and you like to have experience back there, and I guess that's Westmar hasn't had to pass much, so they haven't had to really test them, and that's been one good point of this game.
Correction, they returned 8 of their 11 starters back there, and this team gave up just 8 points a game until those last 2, and Central hit them for 60 in those last 2 ball games. Clinic rolling, in trouble, unloads it downfield, laid it up for grabs, and it is intercepted by Mike DeVal downfield at about the 22-yard line. Pass intended for Skolton, and Skolton came back, did his best to try and take the ball away from DeVal, but it was just a poor decision on Kelly's part this time, and he probably should have wasted that one out of bounds.
Yeah,
He's had a turnover to this point. Beavers take over at the 22. Well, it was about as effective as a punt. There's the give to Dave Faffel. Faffel takes Robert Johnson head-to-head, and they go down together at about the 23-yard line. Gonna get a yard or 2 on the play. Johnson's a guy I don't think you want to challenge too many times. He hurts people.
That's right. He's really physically strong. He's very impressive physically, and boy, he really sticks in there and got good speed and really hits hard. I think Faffel saying, gee, my brother had easier than this last year. They really shut him down. He's really had to work for every yard he gets.
Kevin Faffel last year is the back that tore up Westmar over at BV, running for well over 100 yards. From the I formation, gonna give up the middle of Leatherman, the big fullback, and he's stacked up short of the 25-yard line. A lot of blue shirts in there on top of him. The cloud standing up over the pile. Wayne Udick was there. Down underneath, I believe, is Krotzel and also Oswald is in there. Our 3 inside interior people. Just shut that down in a hurry. 3rd down, and they're looking at 8 yards for the first down. Checking into the ball game for the Beavers is going to be Jamie Brawl. They keep running the plays in from the wideout. Don't believe we've seen Harrington into the ball game yet. Number 8, so you want to look for. Kirk, of course, quarterbacked the Bulldogs 2 years ago into the playoffs here at Lamar's Community. Widener back to pass. Big rush from Udick, and a pass over the middle to Rennick, but it's far short of the first down. Rennick had to go down, scoop it off the ground to make the catch, as Widener was under heavy pressure, and Udick really put a punch on him in the midsection. I thought he might even get called for the quarterback roughing.
Yeah, I thought there might have been a flag. The ref looked and I'm sure thought about it. Next time he will throw it. He might have said something to him, but you can't unload on that quarterback after he throws it.
He was on a bead for him. He had him in his sights, and he leveled him after the throw. Widener, I'm sure, let out a big oof after that contact. Short of the first down. It's 4th down. About a yard to go, and Wilson back to punt. Westmar again should get it in pretty good field position. Wilson going to bang this one out. Nice sailing punt. Safford over the shoulder, back at the 20, gives ground to the 18, now back to the 20, and he'll go to the 22. Heck of a punt, heck of good coverage for BV.
Boy, that was a beautiful punt. I don't know the yardage on it yet, but had a nice spiral on it, and the spiral tipped and went down, and Safford made a nice over-the-head catch to haul the thing in, but they had good coverage and really held it back.
John Seisser in there to make the tackle. He's 6'5", 239, junior out of Webster City. Had some pretty good speed for a guy that size.
That's right. He was running from the start, wasn't he?
And that's going to give Westmar 1st and 10 back inside their own 25, about the 23-yard line. 12:06 to go in a half. Benefit of our radio listeners today, we've got a halftime feature with new volleyball coach Mike Meyer. Talked to him at press day the other night. Newest member of the coaching staff on the Westmar campus. Volleyball ladies will be starting their season this week. Clinic on kind of a misdirection, and that went nowhere. Charles Hill on a little bit of a delay, and that one just didn't ever develop very well.
No, I guess it got stuffed up from the beginning. That's kind of the plays we would expect a few more of from this Buena Vista defense. It's supposed to be their strong point, and they're weak against Westmar's strong offense. And so far they've looked just really weak. Westmar's really handled them, but they might be making a few changes here and try and stop some of those plays.
Lost about 3 on the play. 3rd down and 13. Continues to darken up in the west. I bet we get wet. The Clinic. Option play, pitch out. Charles Hill, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Needs another block. 40, 35, down to the 32-yard line. Another big play. Charles Hill turned it in. Almost a 50-yard gallop to go with a 60-yarder. 2 carries right there. It's got Charles over the 100-yard marker here in the first half.
That's right, and he kind of overran his protection there. A couple of big linemen were saying, hey, why you run by me and run into him? But that's one of those things you hate to hold up because there are people coming. But, yeah, the little guy's got a lot of speed yet, too, and explosive. When he gets by the line of scrimmage, he can get downfield.
Shows the versatility of those Westmar backs. You normally think Kelvin Pierce would be the option man, but Charles Hill can get outside and scoot, although he gives you that blockbuster power up the middle. Westmar's got her 1st and 10 down to the 31. Quick pitch to Pierce. Pierce to the 30. High stepping down the sidelines to the 35, or to the 25 and inside the 25, about the 24-yard line. Post and DeVal were there to make the tackle. Post was that saved that touchdown, I believe, just a little bit ago. He was the only man between Hill and the goal line, and Hill, as Ronnie mentioned, kind of outran 3 of his blockers. Denny Callahan and Keith Brown calling the play-by-play here this afternoon. And Keith, of course, a graduate back in the 70s when he was a Westmar, and before that a Lamar's Community football participant. Tight end to the left side, out of the wishbone, up the middle to Kelvin Pierce, jumps over one would-be tackler, and he's inside the 20 to about the 19-yard line before DeVal and Jim Higley come up to make the hit. Higley, of course, an all-conference player for 2 years, his sophomore and junior season, and he's now in his senior year out of Emmitsburg. There's a football factory for you.
That's right, and we remember Dan Higley, that was a good running back for BB so many years, and this one's a good one on defense.
Westmar got him a 1st down on that carry, 1st and 10 down on the 19, and they're on the move again. Remember, this drive started back inside the 25, about the 23-yard line. So we're looking at a 77-yard drive here. If they go ahead and punch this one in, this will be the longest of the day. Out of the wishbone set again, there's Charles Hill behind 2 lead blockers. Gonna dive short of the 15, and the ball shoots on out of bounds, but it's Westmar's football. Into Val and post up there. A lot of these tacklers we're calling out for you are out of the secondary. That tells you what the offensive line's doing.
Tacklers downfield, and that's what it takes to make those big long runs that we've seen out here.
Skolton going to go wide left. Rob White splits to the right side. Whoops, there's a little early movement from Spearing on the left side, and that's going to cost Westmar 5. Boy, coaches hate to see that, don't they? It would have been 2nd and about 8. Now we're looking at 2nd and about 13. And he just missed the snap count. And things, I guess, that are going to happen through any point of the season. It's one of those concentration things. Those things are correctable.
That's right. It's something they don't want at this point in the game and down this close. A lot of times those 5 yards can be awful costly, but they do happen. Sometimes it's just a mental mistake, and he just didn't have his head on the count.
Wishbone set. Holbert is the up back. Pierce and Hill split him on either side. Keeper by McClintock. He takes a pretty good pop, and he's down to the 16-yard line. Tackle going to be made for Buena Vista by Pat Brown and also Shane Hobbin in there.
4 yards on the game.
Hobbin is one of the backup linebackers out of Pocahontas. Just a freshman kid, so they're looking at a lot of different people to try and shore up the ranks inside. Pat Brown's out of the nose guard spot. He's a sophomore from Des Moines. Inside the 10-minute mark here in the 2nd quarter, 21-3 Westmar. Westmar scored on 3 straight possessions in the 1st quarter. Nobody has put points on yet here in quarter 2. Option play. Now Kelly backing off, going to throw over the end zone. Nobody there. Boy, there wasn't anybody even close either. Pierce, I think, was the intended receiver. Pierce was tied up, I think, trying to get out into the pattern. There wasn't with anybody within 15 yards. I don't know whether Kelly just unloaded that one or what exactly was the situation there.
Well, that'd be my guess, that he just unloaded it and tried to get rid of it, unless there was a mix-up and it was a time pattern. He thought he had somebody there, but I guess nothing lost and they didn't lose any yardage. So,
going to bring up a 4th and about 8, and it's going to be Mike Morion to try the field goal from this. Be spotted on the 23-yard line. It's be a 33-yard try. Joe Holmberg going to spot it for him. Maury, of course, is the left-footed sidewinder. Looks pretty good from here. It's through there. Westmar increases their lead at 24-3, and we'll be back in 30 seconds.
Really, it's quite a turnaround.
Bartland going to kick this one off. Going to go end over end and be taken by Maury. At about the 15 to the 20, won't get to the 30, about to the 29-yard line. And let's see, start picking numbers up. Westhoff off the bottom. And I believe that's, well, he's got the jersey tied up in the front, so he can't even catch a number. Yeah, I think it is Safford. Trent Quick, I believe, is also down there on that kickoff return team or kickoff defensive team. And the Beavers take over at their own 29-yard line. 1st and 10, 9:31 to go in the first half. Widener still in there at quarterback. Heavy rush going to the screen. Leatherman going to drop the football, though. Leatherman heard the footsteps there, and he was looking upfield before he got a handle on it.
That's right. It was an obvious screen from the start, and Westmar had a couple guys that read it well and just kind of floated on out with the blockers and were right on top of him.
I think Westmar learned a lesson here 2 years ago when they were ahead at halftime, seemingly had BV on the run, but they just didn't put him away by halftime. And BV came back like gangbusters with a big second half and eventually won the ball game 44-28. Westmar shows no signs of showing any mercy right now. They're racking points up.
Well, that's right. I think they're just really hungry for this game. They want it so bad, and they're just going to keep at it.
Widener back to pass. Taking a look, a lot of time. Now he's rolling to the right. The rush gets to him. Going to throw to Kilby over the middle. What a pop put on in the secondary by Kurt Westhoff. Kilby came back to the football, looking for that open area to help his quarterback out, and then Westhoff really put the smack on.
Boy, that was a hit, and Westhoff is, well, he's fun to watch today. He's really been in on the plays, and especially early there, and that was just a big league shot.
Kilby caught 15 balls last year and scored a couple of touchdowns. He was to be the primary target this year. Out of Honolulu, Hawaii, a senior, 155-pound senior. Going to send Kilby splitting wide to the right side. We've got a timeout. Coach Hirschberger wants to talk to his football team. BV scored first, getting a field goal from Wheezy after Westmar fumbled on their second offensive play of the ball game. 3rd down at about 3 yards to go for the Beaver first down. He'll go on the pitch to the outside. This is Bailey, that tailback we talked about, and he makes the first down yardage that carries to near the 40-yard line.
See the speed there, it definitely looks impressive. That wasn't the biggest gainer, but he showed
a candidate for the Westmar job after leaving Galen Catholic. 1st and 10 for the Beavers from the 40-yard line. Out of the I formation. Going to give up the middle to their new fullback who has just checked into the ball game. And I believe that's 43. We don't have one of those on our roster. So L.J. Pogge, I believe it is. Jay Pogge, a sophomore out of Corwith, the Waldorf Junior College transfer this year. And the 210-pound sophomore Pogge has carried for a gain of about 6. 2nd down at about 4 to go. 7:50 left to play in the first half. And in motion here to the left is Mark Renning. Going to give up the middle to Pogge again. So Pogge and Bailey are in the backfield. Already beginning to see Coach Hirschberger looking at some other people.
And I like the looks of this backfield. This Pogge kid is huge. He's really a big fullback and shows some good power inside. And of course, the other outside man is going to be a quick one to watch. So we'll have to keep an eye on this backfield. They look tough so far.
Scott Bailey rushed for 1,400 yards last year at Pocahontas. His hometown's listed as Glidden, but actually a Pocahontas graduate, I believe, and 180-pound freshman. 3rd down at about a yard to go for the BV first down. Widener still at quarterback. There's Bailey. Got him a first down. Now he's one-on-one in the secondary. Joe Holmberg's going to ride him down. Boy, where did the secondary people go? Because Holmberg was the only one there.
That's right. It was almost one-on-one there for a while, but Holmberg took him down.
That was the experienced senior against the freshman. Freshman was putting the moves on, but Joey stuck to that belt buckle and took him down.
Yeah, gave him kind of a little pause step, and Holmberg didn't take anything of it. He was watching his numbers and just took him down.
Had Joey not got him, it'd have been off to the races. Bailey had him his first college touchdown. Inside the 7-minute mark here in the opening half, it's 24 to 3 Westmar. Out of the I formation. And Renning from a wing, going to go in motion. There's Widener on the keeper. A lot of running room for him. Now he pitches. Bailey outside, 35-30, 25-20, a flag down. Some of this is coming back because I think they're going to catch Pogge for throwing an illegal downfield block. And that was clear across the field from where the play happened. And he's turning his palms up to a teammate. He just can't believe he got called for it. But this one's coming back. That was a heck of a job there by Widener. He ran upfield for about 6-7 himself, got hemmed in, and then still pitched to his pitchback, Bailey.
That's right, and that's where the option play can be such a wild play. That option is available anywhere down the field. That's something you can do beyond line of scrimmage, and that's what he did there. And the option man, Bailey, stayed there, and he was right in position to take the pitch.
Got to keep that good quarterback-pitchman relationship, as they say in the option game, and they did it. Bailey was able to turn it into another big gainer. That from the line of scrimmage. That was good for about 21, 22 yards, but a lot of it's going to be eaten up by this penalty. They're going to mark the penalty off actually from about the 26. Clipping going to be the call. That'll bring it back almost to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to wipe out the big gainer. And the Beavers are going to be looking at 10 yards of real estate again. 6:35 to go, 1st and 10 from there. In fact, it's actually a little longer than 10 yards. Stick has scooted back about a half yard. Widener in the option again, pitch out to Bailey. Bailey putting the juke steps on, but the Eagles are having nothing of it. Frenchie Holmberg there, Robert Johnson, another flag going to go down, and up from the secondary for Westmar with Scott Seeloff. Yeah, this is BV Westmar football. Few of the tempers flaring.
That's right, and it looks like they're pointing at Westmar on this one, so things are getting a little hot out there, and then BV doesn't like the score right now, and then Westmar doesn't like BV, so they're kind of showing some of their emotion coming out here.
Yeah, talking it over with Widener and offensive lineman Tracy Hedman.
Run and trying to turn the momentum around.
Well, they always say linemen make the backs, but I think backs can do a lot for themselves. We've had no change in linemen, I don't believe, but the backs have changed, and all of a sudden the offense is moving.
Well, that's right, and I think just in these two backs, I'd have to look for sure, but they probably picked up 30, 40 pounds, and you know, football's a power game, and the big fullback can get those extra.
First quarter teams, they come ready to play football, and they were again here this afternoon. They got off to the fast start and still living by it, 24-3. Back to pass, Widener takes a look, fires down the middle, intercepted, picked off by Westmar. Seeloff's got his first career interception. He's across the 25 about the 32-yard line. Right to him, he overshot his receiver, the intended man of the play, Jamie Brawl, and Seeloff is right there, and he's an excited young man.
Well, that's right, and that was a big defensive play. I guess we just talked about how they're going to handle this drive, and good defensive pressure, and the quarterback maybe rushed the throw a little bit, but really the coverage was there. They had everyone handled, and a great interception and great timing.
Seeloff getting high fives. Kid that, as Coach Mazel told us on Chalk Talk this morning, he's paid his dues. Eagles come up with their first interception of the season, and it comes from that left cornerback. He was the last to win a starting spot back there in preseason, and he comes up with a big interception. And gives that ball back to the Westmar offensive unit. They're out there at about the 29-yard line. 71 yards of real estate, and they've got 6:14 to do it. A lot of time from the wishbone formation. McClintock going to give straight ahead. I believe it's Hobart. Dwayne Hobart has the ball stripped by Jeff Post, but referees aren't buying that. Hobart, I believe, with his first carry today. Dwayne's a big guy, 6'1", 195. He looks more solid than that even. Dwayne is a Laurelville, Iowa native, a junior. Another kid has kind of paid his dues and hasn't got a lot of playing time until now.
Well, that's right, and that's what you like to see in a good program. You like to see guys kind of learn the system and get some experience in a couple of years and then move them up when they're more into leadership and got the experience as juniors and seniors and really make an impact on a team.
Westmar's going to a pro set, 2 split receivers, split backs. McClintock rolling to the right. He's going to tuck it under and run now. It's a 35 and rustled out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. Coming up there to make the hit for the Beavers from the secondary is Jim Higley. And that's going to be enough for a Westmar first down, it would look like. Yeah, they're going to move the sticks. Kind of about 8 yards on it. McClintock, I think, saw his receiver was covered, the one he had really destined to throw it to in the pattern. And he saw the yardage out there for the first down. Quarterback that knows where the sticks are.
That's right. He was just running for the sideline and got a little foot race and got the big first down.
5:24 left to go in the first half. And Westmar's got her 1st and 10 out over the 40 to the 41-yard line. Flags go down as the snap of the football, and they'll stop play right there. They're pointing in the direction of Westmar, so apparently the Eagles going to lose some yardage here. Legal procedure going to be the call against the Eagles. Yeah, the concentration level must be going down a little bit. We're starting to see some of those little nitpicking penalties picked up here.
Yeah, both teams now have kind of been plagued with it here and kind of hurt some of their drives. So we'll see how Westmar, if they can pick it up and get something going here.
1st and 15 for the Eagles as they get moved back to their own 35-yard line. Eagles scored on 4 of their first 6 possessions here today, 3 in a row. Fumbled on the first possession. Turned it over on their 5th possession and scored on the others. There's the pitch out to Pierce. Pierce going to get to the Westmar sidelines, gets out over the 40 to about the 46. And Westmar's looking at a 2nd down at about 5 to go yet for the first down. Going to get almost 10 back. he gets such quick acceleration. Those first 2 steps are made before anybody else hardly moves.
That's right. And boy, can he get around the corner, and it's just going to be a matter of time before he's going to make it all the way and break one, I think. And he's definitely showed us the speed and quickness on some of these smaller plays, but he got a nice 5 or 6 yard gain there.
Second down at about 8. The rain coming down again. This is probably as much rain as we've seen here this afternoon. It's coming right down now. Out of the wishbone set. Option play, McClintock on the keeper. 45 and driven out at about the 47-yard line. And he'll pick up about another 3 or 4. Westmar's looking at a 3rd down and about 4 yards to go yet for a first down. Ran that option to the short side of the field, and that just doesn't give you a whole lot of room to operate.
Well, no, it makes it tougher to execute all your options, but normally you're running into the weak side of the defense, so it's kind of a give and take deal. You don't run it against so many people when you run weak side.
3rd down at about 4 to go. Folks got the umbrellas out again. They call this bumper shoot weather, and they're out en masse now. You folks scrambling for shelter as halftime's approaching. 5:10 to go before intermission. Out of the wishbone. Going to go to Calvin Pierce to the left side. Pierce tries to break an arm tackle, but he'll go down short of the 50-yard line, about the 49. And Westmar's got a 4th and about 2 coming up. And we're going to see the first punt. It looks like Rob White's going to draw the job here today. Actually, they didn't use White last weekend in the scrimmage at Wayne State. Rain really peppering down now. He's a kid named Harker.
A different punting in a game situation when you got the heat on you and the pressure, and as opposed to standing out and just shagging punts in practice.
Rob White going to drop back for the punt. And he's going to bang it out of there. Fair catch going to be called for and made downfield for the Beavers by number 40, John Pelzer. And the Beavers going to take over their own 19-yard line. Well, this sure hurts BV's catch-up efforts, because as time continues to tick off against them and they continue to trail by 3 touchdowns, they're going to have to become more and more of an airborne football team, and it's tough to throw in the rain.
That's right. They'll have a wet ball, and eventually the players will be wet, and you can drive. Yeah, I guess he definitely caught it, and that ball was intended to be thrown where he was at. That was a screen that was set up, and Westmar just had a covered purple. The quarterback saw that and just finally had to eat the ball and throw it out of bounds.
3rd down and about 21 yards to go for the first down with 2:11 left to play in this first half. 24-3. It's Westmar up by 3 touchdowns, scoring on 4 of their first 7 possessions here in the first half. Going to send Kilby split wide to the left. Running out of the I formation. There's the draw play. Here's Bailey. Bailey to the 45, and that's it. He'll, in fact, lose a yard on the play. Westmar kind of sensed that might be coming, and their pursuit ran right into the play. Krotzel made the first contact. Mike Rogers was there, and Wayne Udick was there. Looked like they were looping with their ends a little bit on the pass rush there, and they ran right into where the play was coming.
That's right. I think they probably, somebody in the huddle or somebody said, watch the draw. It's kind of the situation where you do that. That's what happened. We were sitting up in the stands, while half the crowd was saying draw when they were doing it. So the crowd is definitely into this game, even with the rain.
4th down at about 20 yards to go for the first down, and BV ready to punt on their own 45-yard line, and the defense answers the challenge one more time. Big quarterback sack. There's a bad snap to the punter. One hopper. Westmar has the return on, though, and boy, did Wilson and Mango one this time. He really banged it out of there, drives Holmberg back to the 6. Joey won't even get out over the 10. He'll be dropped at about the 9-yard line. But the tackle's got to be made for the Beavers by Jonathan Stevens off the specialty team. Boy, did he bang that one out.
Yeah, if I remember right, his last punt was a real boomer, too. Saffron took that one over his shoulder. With a wet ball raining like this, he probably picked up a few drops in the air. And that was another boomer, really impressive punter.
That's good punt returners, though, that don't let the ball hit the turf.
That's right, and it was he'd say I had it all the way, but you hate to see him have to over the shoulder and catch a wet ball like that. But he ball in nice, and yeah, that ball with the thick grass could have landed on the 1-yard line. It was out on the 10. You had to feel it. Normally 5 and in, you let it go, and it normally roll in there.
They're going to move the sticks. Westmar's looking at long. Well, we got even a clip on the play on Westmar. It is going to drive him back inside the 5 now at about the 4-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 there. 96 yards of real estate. Westmar starting to lose field position in this one.
That's right, and that shows that BV's playing a little tougher than the offense is getting a little yardage. There I see how they come out again.
A little over a minute to go in the first half. Westmar probably just play it safe. Charles Hill off tackle. They don't want to fumble down here, certainly let him back in the game.
Looked like Charles slipped on that play, too. I don't know. I'm sure it hasn't been a real hard game, but it's that grass will slip, and they're going to have to get their footing under them. It's a little different than they have.
Got out to the 5-yard line. Going to be second down, 9 to go. We're inside the last 50 seconds of the first half. Westmar in front, 24-3. Buena Vista not stopping the clock at this point. I believe they've got at least a timeout left, possibly 2. Skolton going to split wide to the left, double tight end set. Hall to the left, and Shipley lined up to the right side. They go up the middle. This is to Charles Hill. He's breaking the tackle, breaks it over, still on his feet, caught from behind out over the 25, down to the 30-yard line. The touchdown-saving tackle going to be made by Sean Walter out of that line. Another impressive run by Charles. He broke several tackles.
That's right, a lot of strength. He showed it. And he sure likes to run up the middle. The blocking was there, too. People were getting hit. Going downfield. Those kind of runs go.
Had Calvin Pierce been the ball carrier, I think there would have been no catching him. Eagles got her in some better field position now. They can at least be open to running more offensive plays out here, be a little more imaginative rather than keeping it close to the vest. Randy Schmazel out there sending some signals out to his offense. And McClintock going to just come up to the line of scrimmage and let the clock expire. So the half has come to an end. Westmar's had their best half of Weezy up to the football, going to kick it off end over end. Going to come down to Pierce on the 10-yard line, to the 15, 20, 25. Looks for the seam, and boy, he was blindsided at about the 30-yard line. Right there is why I never wanted to run kickoffs back.
Yeah, that was one that I'm sure he didn't see him until it was too late. And had that guy not got him, he was going up a seam. Pierce has got a lot of speed, and I'm just waiting for him to cut loose here today.
Yeah, I bet he has a big one before the day is over. That's a 21-yard kickoff return by Kelvin Pierce, and the Eagles will start at their own 31-yard line. Any time you get it out over the 25, you've got excellent field position.
That's right. You want to get it. Yeah, anything beyond the 20 is good. And they normally shoot for the 30, 35, and that's about where they're at.
Calvin McClintock, who's done a good job of running this football team, and the misfortune of the fumble and the option on his second play from scrimmage today set up the Beavers field goal. But he's been picture perfect since then, I think, outside of an interception that I know he probably wanted back as soon as he threw it. Pitch out, Pierce to the 35, looks for the 40, won't quite get there. He's driven into the Westmar sideline at about the 46-yard line. Tackle going to be made by Mike Duval. Defensively, the Beavers have all that experience, 8 of 11 starters back from a team that surrendered just 236 yards per game and 8 points. But Westmar has exploited their weaknesses today, seem to have found everyone they had.
Well, that's right, and it's been on the ground. They haven't had to pass against them. And maybe he has a real solid secondary, and maybe it's a good thing they haven't had to, but boy, it's just been basic running game, and they've gone from sideline to sideline, too. They've gone up the middle and around the ends and been effective with it all.
Second down at about 3 to go, 7-yard gain to the last play. There's a get a Hill up the middle, and boys, he busted. Coming up from the linebacker spot for the Beavers is Jonathan Stevens. That's a big-time hit right in the breastbone.
That's right. He looked like he had a Hirschberger talk at halftime, I think, and they're going to be out here hitting. They're not going to quit in this game, and Hill gave him a shot, too. Hill is going to hit him right back, so didn't quite get the first down, though.
Pretty hard to hurt Charles Hill. He usually hurts himself. He has such thick legs. He has a lot of muscle pulls. That's his big problem. In fact, he sat out a day or two of practice with a little bit of a hamstring pull, and you have those big legs. That's always your Achilles heel, if you will, and he has had his share of leg problems through his career here at Westmar. Third down at a short yard to go. The ball just nosed up to the 40-yard line. They've got to get just over the 40 for the first down. McClintock looking over that BV defense. They're doing a little moving around. McClintock going to keep it and carry for the first down as a whole surge of offensive people go forward to the 44-yard line. Good thrust off the line.
That's right, and that's what you like to see. And a good coach will tell his line, you better be able to get a yard on the quarterback sneak just for the fact you know the signal snap. You ought to be able to drive enough to get it. And you'll see good teams do that. They'll just go to that quarterback sneak and almost consider an automatic yard.
And we got a dry start to the second half. The rain subsided midway through halftime, and it looks like most of the folks came back. Good to see it, too. 13-11 to go, third quarter. Just a good start to the second half. Hey, if you missed the first half, there's still more fireworks to come. 30 more minutes of exciting football. Westmar leading at 24-3. You could get out here for the finish of some history-making moments in Westmar football history here today. Gives to Hill. Hill slipping as he tried to make the cutback, and he's out over the 45 to about the 47-yard line. Tackle going to be made for the Beavers by Brian Sharp, 205-pounder out of Numa, Iowa. Not sure where Numa's at. That's a new one to me.
Yeah, I never heard of it either, but I guess it's there. He wouldn't put it down as his hometown, so.
Might be kind of like Wren or something, huh?
Yeah, it could be just a little hole in the wall, I guess, but it's home for him, I guess, but we're glad he's here now.
2:29 left to play in the third quarter. Westmar on the move in their first possession of the second half. Craig Larson up over the football, that Kingsley senior that's played most of the last 3 years as the starting center on this football team. Out of the wishbone, there's the give to Hill. He bounces in there, tries to break that initial tackle, but a lot of help arrives, and that's going to do it. See who's up off the bottom that made the first hit and held on for dear life till help arrive. Down on the very bottom is the nose man, Pat Brown. He just put his nose into the turf and held ground. That's right. That defensive line of BV really played tough there, and everybody stuck home and even got a little penetration there, and it was a little loss on the game. Third down at about 7 to go for Westmar, their own 46-yard line. 4-3 Eagles. Hobart in the up back. He's got a chance to play a lot here today. Didn't start, but Westmar's used the wishbone almost extensively since having so much success with it on their second drive of the day. There's a give to Kelvin Pierce. Got a first down. Out over the 50 into BV Real Estate. Driven out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. Boy, it just doesn't look like there's a lot of running room, but he's so quick to get to the flanks. That he looks really explosive. Don't forget, Westmar football can be seen every Sunday night at 8 o'clock on Cable Channel 20. And don't forget the Eagle Leaguer backers meetings on Monday during the noon hour down at the Westmar Commons. You're certainly welcome to come down. There's a give to Hill. Hill trying to pick his way, and he's going to lose a yard on this one. Stacked up at the 45-yard line by a swarm of white shirts. Looks like that's been at least a reaction to the motivational talk I'm sure this Beaver team got at halftime. They are much more minutes to go. Third quarter. Tuned in to KLEM in Lamar's, Iowa this afternoon. Be our only live broadcast of Westmar football this year. From now on, it'll be on Sunday nights at 8 o'clock. Join us for the pictures and the sound. There's a get a Hobart. Hobart, no second option play. It's Pierce on the flank. Pierce out inside the 40 to about the 37. Got me faked anyway, but that was a nice fake up the middle to the dive man. That's right, it sure was, and that sets up the play, and a little option on the outside, and they got another pickup. Nice pickup on that one. Close to another Westmar first down. It'll be a couple of yards short. Third down, and they're looking at probably almost 3 yards for a first down. Got 7 on the play. That was just the fake to the dive man, kind of the triple option that you see off the wishbone set. That's right, and I guess that's the wishbone play there, basically. They've lined up in this wishbone almost the whole game, but really just ran out of it as a running set, and finally they went to the option there. Third down and a short 3, pitch out. Pierce got a first down inside the 35, dives for the 30, and he's got more than enough. Gets about 6 on the play. Westmar on the move again to the end zone. This would really take the zip right out of the Beavers, so they'd go up by 4 touchdowns on this first possession. Yeah, and if they could continue this grind-out running game, they haven't gone to the air yet, and Pierce is kind of carrying the load here this time, and I've noticed he's got cleats on. You get a wet field, and these soccer shoes sometimes are kind of slippy out there, so that's maybe pushing a little far, but I notice Hill has soccer shoes on and lots of those little cleats, and he's had a little problem with footing, and Pierce hasn't. First and 10 on the Beaver 30-yard line. The Eagles are heading toward the end zone. Hill going to dive up the middle. He gets his feet taken out from underneath him by number 61 in that defensive linebacker core, Sean Walter. And then he was cut down and dropped at about the 30 or 26-yard line, 27-yard line. Got about 2 or 3 on the play. It's second down, 7 to go for a first down, and we're approaching the 9-minute mark in the third quarter. Westmar still off their initial drive of the second half, and it's almost 6 minutes old. That's right. It's been impressive. They haven't had the big running play like they've had in the previous drives, but they're still hanging on to it. Using about all 3 downs per series here to get the first downs. There's the pitch out to Pierce. Pierce to the 25 and takes the quick exit at about the 20-yard line. Just shy of the first down. A little experience all third quarter. It's 24-3 Westmar. Still off their initial drive of the second half. Kickoff, and it's now over 6 minutes old. 6 minutes, 4 seconds. Wishbone set. As they get to Charles Hill, going to the right side of the sweep. He's got a first down, takes him head-to-head at about the 17 and goes on out of bounds. Never did go down, although 3 or 4 Beavers hit him. Jeff Post had him around the knees, had him stood up, and a couple of people took shots. And I don't think the coaching staff like that, particularly on the sidelines, to either stand-out runner taking shots like that, but Charles, I think, can handle it.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely strong enough. He kind of did a little footwork there to get every inch out of it. The guy had him by the arms and was eventually going to get him out, but he got every yard out of it. And you don't need to take shots out of bounds.
I wonder how many yards Westmar's got out of their total yard, what percent they've got to the short side of the field today.
Well, that's right, and again, I'll mention that's normally run into a weak side defense, so that's what they think they can exploit that.
Powers to the right this time, the short side, and going to go up the middle of Hobart, and Hobart carries to about the 13-yard line. That's only about his second or third carry. They'll use him just enough to keep him honest. He's basically the blocker.
That's right, and with a wishbone, when you're not strong or weak one side normally, why, that's what he is. He's designated. They got 2 other guys back there that are going to carry the ball, so he's the blocker.
Well, it surprises me because Shipley's been running that spot so much in practice, and then Hobart was used almost through the entire ball game here this afternoon as that lead blocker. But it's really, I guess, a credit to his development in that backfield scheme because it was little used last year. Basically ran on the scout teams. Shipley's been running tight end so well that he has pretty much stuck to that position today. Split receivers to both sides. Quick pitch, Calvin Pierce. He's hemmed in, breaks a tackle. Now he's back across the green to the 10, to the 5. Oh, Indians on Westmar. Haven't lost it. I think the Beavers got it eventually. Oh, what a play. Like to see that one on the instant replay. Let's see who's off top of the pigskin for the Beavers. Well, we didn't get the field glasses on it quite quick enough, and a couple of Eagles were on it, a couple of the linemen, but they're not used to corralling a pigskin very often, and it squirted on out of there, and the Beavers ended up with it.
That's right. That's the old fumble drill.
Get there, and somebody drugged the arm as he was coming by. Ball popped out of there, and the Beavers got a big break. 24-3 it remains. Westmar using up almost half of the third quarter on that drive and came up empty. Carry up the middle by the tailback Bailey. Bailey and Pogge, remember, came on there just before the half ended and really seemed to pump some life into this BV offense. That drive for Westmar was 14 plays old, originated back at their own 31, so they went 69 yards. Well, not quite 69 because they came up about 4 yards short of the touchdown. But the touchback turns it over. That's Westmar's 4th fumble. They've lost 3 of them. There's a give up the middle to Bailey, and he'll slip and fall. Bailey trying to make a cut to the outside as Johnson and Westhoff had a bead on him, and he's a little disgusted. I think he's got those short cleated shoes on too.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to say everyone that slips has soccer shoes on, but it does make a difference. The cleats, there's only 5 or 6 cleats on your shoe, and obviously your weight gets a little better impact, and you dig in a little better. The soccer shoes it's just more surface area there, and you can slip a little bit. I don't question that one bit, and the grass is wet out there. It's not raining anymore, but it'll make a little toll out there, I think.
You got the good solid turf on here early in the season, so it won't be muddy, but it does create a little slippage problem. Widener back to pass, setting up, now heavy rush. Udik's in pursuit. Gonna force him to the sidelines, lays it up for grab. Tip, intercepted by Hanser. Hit by Quincy Holberg, and intercepted by Hanser. There's another one of the new secondary people, and who's been giving them the most high fives as they come off the veteran back there, Joe Holberg.
That's right. Now, that was Frenchie's there. He got over there and made the read, tipped the ball up in the air, and then, of course, a great read. That's kind of the old tip drill. They practice that also, defensive backs, is catching it after someone tips it, and that's what he did, hauled it in. That's back to Westmar's ball.
We saw some of that amazing Hanser athletic ability there because that was tipped by a couple of Eagles, and as they were falling down, tried to scramble to it, and it looked like either one of them were going to get to it, and then Hanser kind of just jumped in there and caught the thing and was ready to move with it.
Yeah, I didn't think he would get it. It surprised me that he came up with it, but he was under it.
He actually is the backup quarterback on this team, just an excellent all-around athlete. Westmar takes over the football of the BV 45. That'll be their second interception of the day. Both are first career interceptions for first Seeloff and then Hanser. Since then, that's the only one that even has come off looking like they got dinged a little bit. Going out of an old T formation now. It's just student body right. Kelly McClintock trying to get wide. Excellent play by the nose guard, Pat Brown. He came for the middle of that defensive interior and ran McClintock down from behind, in behind all of the interference.
That's right, and again we could see the speed of some of these college linemen. Boy, that was a foot race, and Kelly couldn't outrun him. The guy ran him down from behind and took him down. So these linemen not only are big and strong, but they're also very fast.
That's why I retired from playing quarterback when I did.
Yeah, is that why? Huh? They'll catch you if they can.
Second down at 11, loss of a yard and a half on the play. The Clinic's back in there, got two split receivers off to the left side and split backs. Back to pass, setting up the screen play, going out here to Charles at the 50, 45, dancing the sideline, and he's out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Salvaged about 5 yards out of a play that didn't look like it had much available there at all.
No, the BV linebackers both had it read, and one of them was right out there to begin with, but Charles got a little foot race with him and got by him, but couldn't get by the second one.
24-3 your score. Westmar with a 14-play drive to begin the second half, ate up half of the second half or third quarter clock, and then a fumble into the end zone by Kelvin Pierce when he was about ready to break free into the end zone for the score. Touchback, and the Beavers salvaged that drive, snuffed out the scoring drive, and we've had no points yet, but now Westmar's in the move again. Third down and about 7 to go from the BV 41. Going to give to Kelvin Pearson a dive, and Pierce going to be knocked down after about a yard or two gain. Nice open field hit there by the defensive tackle Larry Dietrich, a senior out of Garner.
Took him right down hard, and had he not done that, well, I think we could have had a first down because Kelvin had a head of steam and it looked like a lot of open territory there, but it was a big third down play for BV, and looks like Westmar is going to have a decision here whether to punt or go for it.
4th and 4 at the 39 of the Beavers, and Rob White's on there, so it looks like they're going to try and kick him into a hole, and I think that's playing it safe with a 3-touchdown lead.
That's right, and especially the start of the third quarter, too. You don't want to give them field position here when you have a good opportunity to set them way back in deep.
Only the second punt for the Eagles. Had one just before halftime. And White's going to kick this one pretty much straight up in the air. You don't want linked on this, just no return, and it's going to take a Westmar bounce. Got a flag down, too. I don't know whether they're just marking where the ball hit or whether actually was a violation there. Didn't really see any violation. A lot of blue shirts around there, only one Beaver, and it was one of the returners, and he kind of come up and gave a little push, but I didn't see anything illegal there.
Yeah, I didn't notice either, and the Westmar guys had given him room to catch it, so be interesting to see what they call.
They call illegal use of the hands on Westmar. And they're going to call Westmar for pushing. Must have pushed the back as he was coming up to maybe field the ball. I'm not sure. Apparently that was a decision for the Beavers whether to have him kick over or take the ball, and they'll decline the penalty and take the ball right there. So it won't be anything tacked on to the end of the play. We're going to give up the middle to Bailey. Bailey out over the 25 to about the 26-yard line. Good for a yard or two. Got a new back in there.
I think the man that carried the ball was a new back, Carl Lucas. So they're continuing to run some new faces in here.
Carl Lucas is a freshman out of Omaha, and he plays some of those big Nebraska schools down there in the Omaha area. Only got a couple of second down and 8. Westmar making some quick changes in their defensive line. Split backs. Going to go again to Lucas. Lucas trying to go wide, and Lucas is going to go down at the 26-yard line. He'll get no gain virtually on that one. Lucas just doesn't seem to have some of those natural abilities that this Bailey kid has. He looks like he's going to be more of the speed burner to the outside.
Yeah, one would assume, I guess. Of course, there he really had the play was stretched out and didn't have any kind of an opening to begin with. But, yeah, Bailey, to me, impressed me a lot. The potential he had, and I would imagine we'll see him. But I guess Coach Hirschberger wants to try all the faces in here and get a good shot of him, let him have a couple series and game time action.
I haven't seen the white flag run up the pole over there on their side, but he's beginning to show signs of making this a day of look-see now for the rest of the afternoon. He's starting to run in some people. Bailey hardly was at a position he should have been benched. We also got a new quarterback, I see, too. Back to pass, over the middle, and that's going to be complete. Down the sideline to the 50, 45 to the 40, down into Westmar territory. Joe Holmberg saved a touchdown. Craig Mayer in there to make the catch. Kevin Lux in here quarterbacking now, a junior out of Carroll. He battled Widener for early preseason starting duties.
Berg was tough and hung with him. That's hard out there, one-on-one with a little speedster.
A couple of Westmar defensive backs slipped and fell as he gave up the middle to Pogge, and Pogge inside the 35 about the 33. There's that big fullback that came in earlier when Leatherman went out hurt, so it looks like Pogge's assumed the starting role for the moment. 2:49 left to play in the third quarter. Westmar leading at 24-3. Well, that starting drive maybe didn't produce points. Would have broke the game probably wide open had it put points on, but it did eat up quite a bit of this third quarter clock.
Well, yeah, that it did, but I'm sure Coach Schmeisel would have just soon had the points. And now BV's kind of picked up on that momentum change, and they've got their offense moving now.
And Luck's in there at quarterback's got a man in motion, a long count, going to give it a Pogge up the middle, and Pogge going to go down and just shy of the 30, about the 31-yard line. Had Jamie Brawl, the junior out of Schleswig, in motion from that flanker spot. It was just enough to keep people moving and hopefully lighten up inside so they could pop that fullback into the middle. Going to be inside the 2-minute mark on the next snap of the football. He may see action yet. Man in motion is Brawl again. There's again a Pogge, broke a tackle, broke another tackle, and he's going to drive inside the 25, about the 24, got him a first down. This kid's a pile driver. He just keeps him legs churning.
Boy, that's right. I'd have to think he's won himself a position on this team, a starting position. He was really tough there and got a lot of those yards on his own.
And he's a JC transfer in from Waldorf. Coach Hirschberger, I guess, learned that a long time ago. If you've got a weak spot and you're going to have to go to young kids maybe to fill it, you don't want to wait that long for production. You go to the JC ranks to find somebody with a little more experience. Going out of the I formation, Lucas the tailback. Fumbled the center snap. Lux with a pitch to Lucas. He's in trouble and breaks Seeloff's tackle, but he held him up enough for help to arrive. Down he'll go. Frenchie Holmberg up there to put the finishing hit on. Seeloff read that one well and got into the backfield and messed it up.
That's right. They had that read from the beginning and just stretched the play out, and they just ran out of room over there and had great coverage on it.
Really, the thing that messed it up was juggling the center snap, broke the whole continuity of the play up.
Well, that's going to happen. You got a second-string quarterback, even though he's fighting out for number one. He hasn't been in there, and you got a running back that's a little green, and a lot of that stuff kind of happens.
Inside the last 50 seconds of the third quarter, Westmar leading at 24-3. No points in this half. Westmar had their opening.
The center must have came up and said it was wet, and he wanted a dry one.
Second down at about 11 to go. Out of the I formation, two split receivers to the wide side. Left side, back to pass, Lux. And there's going to be pass interference. Robert Johnson, pretty flagrant, grabbed a hold of Lucas's shirt and just went along for the ride.
Yeah, it was almost comical. It was like, well, whoops, I should let go, but I can't get my hand free from his jersey. And it was one of those you about had to call it.
Yeah, right out there in open territory. There wasn't anybody else. About 2 yards of the first down yardage. They haven't moved the down stick yet. Defensive holding will be the call there. That's the automatic first down that they're going to call defensive holding, and that's the signal that he gives. So that's an automatic first down. And that's going to move the football up to the 17, move the down sticks and the yard marker, and BV's going to go back to the huddle. They were on the 18 when they kicked the field goal earlier. Luck's going to send Pogge in motion out there to the right side. Get a flag down. Somebody encroached. And Westmar clapping. This is going to take the 5 back.
That's right. That's a big break when you get down here this close, and especially with BV's got the good field goal kicker, so even 5 yards might set them back out of that range. Of course, they have 3 or 4 downs here to try and get some points, or get the first down, but now it's a little tougher, 1st and 15.
Well, these two go opposite directions next week. The Beavers go home for the first time. They'll be entertaining Peru State, their last tune-up before they hit the Iowa Conference on September the 19th when Dubuque comes to Storm Lake. Westmar hits the road. They're going to go down to Fremont to play Midland, and boy, they're always tough down there playing the Warriors in the night game. Fumble the center snap, and Pogge going to pounce on it. Daly was back in there at tailback, incidentally. There's another change in this one as Oswald, 4 Eagles holding up those 4 fingers, symbolic of what theirs. They head into this stretch run of this ball game, and they have just literally outplayed the Beavers. 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, set the tempo of the day. The defense has really played spectacularly since then. BV's defense has got better as the day's gone on, and that was supposed to be a strong unit for him. Luck's back to pass, takes a look, pumps, now throws, intercepted by Hanser. Cut down immediately, turnover at the 27-yard line. The defense has stopped again. Hanser with his second pickoff of the day.
Boy, that was a beauty there, too. That wasn't just a tip job, and that was athletic ability. He said, that's anybody's ball. I'm going to jump in here and get it, and that was a fun one to watch.
Well, if you see the replays on Sunday night, you know Hanser, he cuts the pants off and wears the knee pads. So many of the D-backs for Westmar, seems like, don't like wearing the knee pads in the pants, and they cut the pants off. And he wears the knee pads, and he sticks out kind of unique. He wears the basketball knee pads. Westmar taking over the 26-yard line, and that defense has answered yet one more challenge here this afternoon, and they're playing with a lot of pride. Kelly McClinic going to set this football team down. They line up in the wishbone set. Hobart up in front, and it's Pierce and Hill in the backfield. Pierce going off tackle left, and he meets a lot of resistance in the backfield. Going to lose a yard back at about the 25-yard line. I think
Defense here, second half.
Todd Essing really read that one from a linebacker spot and poured in there quickly with the tackle. 4:17 left to go in this ball game. Quick pitch. Pierce trying to get outside, trying to cut up inside. No one much there either. Getting up nicely from a secondary spot, Jim Higley to read that one. This guy's certainly been around the block, a 3-year starter. This is his 3rd year as a starter, so you're not going to fool that guy too much, and he read that one nicely. And didn't hear much of Higley's name early in this ball game. He may not have been playing as well as he was capable of early in this ball game.
Well, and I guess, the defensive backs, you normally read their name off when there's passes, and Westmar hasn't had to go to the air, and it's been predominantly running game. I'm sure that's part of it. But, yeah, he hasn't come up like you would think he would have and made a lot of the plays.
Strong safety usually is your man in the secondary, comes up, makes the hits on the running plays, and he wasn't a factor early. Back to pass. McClinic going one-on-one for Skolden. Dives, can't make the catch. Made a nice try for it. DeVal with the coverage. DeVal had an interception earlier. McClinic got leveled after the play, but he's up there. He's kind of dusting himself off, and I think that one hurt him a little bit. He's kind of moving around a little bit. You know, the punting. It's be Westmar's 3rd punt of the day. The others have been in favorable field position, but now Westmar inside their own 30. Beavers are going to look for maybe midfield or better field position. White does a little juke step, waits for his coverage. Oh, he got a dandy away this time. Nothing wrong with that punt. And it's going to be fielded back at the 30, 35, short of the 40, down at about the 39-yard line. The return made by John Pelzer. That was big league punt in anybody's league.
You bet. That looks like what BV's been doing here. And
like this morning that I'll tell you in regard to the punting game that I guess really typifies maybe the whole attitude of this Westmar football team. It was a little early movement up there on the line of scrimmage for the Beavers. As Rick Brennan, the right guard, moved a little prematurely at him. 3 shanks last weekend. Coach Mazel was kind of expressing his concern over that to the team this week, and they said, don't worry, Coach, when we get out there in the game, it'll get in the air, it'll get down the field, and they just have that confidence. They'll get it done on game day somehow, some way.
Well, that's what they've done today, I guess, and it's helped. He hasn't had a lot of pressure. I thought we'd think that somehow Coach Hirschberg would have heard that and sent 11 guys after him, but they haven't yet.
White got off a dandy there, 40 yards plus. Beavers looking to go to the air, downfield, caught by Kilby at the 40, 35-30. This kid's got good speed, and he'll score on this one. There's the bomb. 65, 66 yards for the touchdown from Lex to Kilby. With a nice pass, just laid it out over the secondary. There's some of those safety people. The inexperience there kind of got us caught, and that speed got in behind our safeties.
That's right, and that was kind of a timing thing. He just laid it up in the air and let his man run under it, and when he released the ball, it looked like there was really no one out there, but he put a nice float on it, and his man ran right under it in a perfectly timed pattern.
Kilby just ran away from the secondary after he caught it.
That's right, he showed some great speed there and really ran away with it.
66 yards all total on the pass play. Beavers get into the end zone on the touchdown route for the first time, and it's 24-9. Weezy trying to add the point after here. And he drove it through the middle for the extra point, all the way back to the screen. So there was nothing wrong with that extra point. 24-10 with 13:09 to go in the ball game. Still 2 touchdown difference.
And it paid off for him.
Here comes the rain again too, and we got a nice overcast, rainy-looking sky overhead. So she may set in here for a big share of this 4th quarter. The umbrellas pop out again. Well, just what the weather people said, scattered showers. Weesey going to kick it off, and this one really takes off. Pierce at the 5, Calvin to the 10, to the 15, up the middle of the field to the 20, 25, and short of the 30. He'll be down on the 28-yard line. And we got a little wrestling match going on out of midfield between Frenchie Holmberg and one of the Beavers. Flags go flying. Let's see who gets the call here. As always, I think that's Jim Higley and Frenchie Holmberg going at it there on the kickoff team. And Frenchie's a little bearcat. He isn't going to back down from any scrap, and I think that's why Coach Mazel likes him so well.
Well, that's right. He's a little charger out there, and I think Higley's probably the same type for BV. And
Pierce, I think with Pierce and Skolton and their speed back there, we're going to consistently get out over the 25-yard line with kickoff return. A nice kickoff by Weezy. Pierce made a nice return to get it out to some respectable field position. Clinic going to give straight ahead to Hill. Hill bounces out of there. Now he's to the outside. Slips and falls as he tried to make the cut. Jeff Post takes him down to the 34-yard line. Hill made a nice second effort there to try and scoot outside, and on a dry field, he might have been able to beat Post one-on-one and get big yardage.
That's right. He would at least made the turn upfield, I think, and kind of go back against the grain and would have got a few more yards. But he did a great job bouncing out like he did to get free.
Little size differential there, posted 175. He got Charles listed at 190, but he looks more in that 220 range with his blockbuster type build. But 190 is what they got him listed at. Lining up in the wishbone set, there goes Kelvin Pierce getting to the outside of the 30. Short of the 35, 34-yard line, and just kind of glides out there for another 4-yard pickup. That guy's going to be close to the 100 yards when it's over. He hasn't had any big ones today, but he's been consistently getting 5 yards a clip.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of 5, 6, 7-yard pickups, and I'm still kind of waiting for that long one. He's got the potential there, and there again, that guy ran him out of bounds, and that was the last man to get him, so he gets close a lot, and I think he'll make it.
Rob White and Todd Skolton both check into the ball game for wideouts, and Hobart comes out of there, so apparently they're going to be out of that wishbone set. Faced with a 3rd and 5 in a passing situation. Got a light rain coming down out of the ball yard now. Next Friday night, Galen will be here, their first home game. A couple of weeks before Lamar's plays their first home game. Got a flag down and think too much time. That's going to face leading by 2 touchdowns now at 24-10 with 12-17.